Cornwall, a place of epic landscapes and dramatic coastlines. I'm Caroline Quentin, and I'm travelling west to a county that really does showcase the best of Britain's natural beauty. So come with me on my Cornish adventure. It's a land that's dear to my heart, where beaches meet moors.
It is, I think, the best part of the British Isles. It's absolutely stunning. I'll stay here forever.
Where would you want to be anywhere better? Sun in the face, the clean blue air coming in off the ocean, heaven on earth.
And cliffs surrender to the mighty Atlantic.
It's a magical place. It really is. I look at it every day and I tell myself, you know, do not ever take this for granted. It's beautiful.
Therapeutic qualities of living with the water and being by the sea is just amazing, awesome.
Come along for the ride as I take in the sights.
That is awesome! That's awesome!
The sounds.
White stockings she wore.
And the stories.
It's just so exhilarating. And when you're swooshing along, it's wonderful.
Of a Cornish summer.
So enjoy the views. I know I will. Welcome to one of the most beautiful counties in the British Isles. I am in Cornwall, in St Mawes. And the chances of your finding me in a town named after a saint are pretty high because so many of them are. There's St Mawes, St Justin Roseland, St Ives. And this is all thanks to the Celtic missionaries who brought Christianity to Cornwall. St Mawes is named after St Mawdu. I wonder what the chances are of them naming a town after me. St Caroline. St Kaza. Yes, that's got a ring to it.
OK, so that's unlikely, but we will be meeting some rather saintly characters. The villagers of St Issy, who are going for gold this summer.
The gardens have become tidier and tidier and tidier. It's wonderful.
And one country homeowner hopes to secure business with an exclusive holiday lets company.
Quite fussy, I think, about who they take on, and my understanding is that they don't take on everybody. Fingers crossed, see what they say.
Just 4 miles from the North Cornish coast, this is the peaceful village of St Issy. But today it's far from tranquil. Village veteran and social secretary Brenda Wright is waging a community campaign to bring the village out of the gloom and into bloom.
We really lost touch with one another for a little while because all within about 18 months the post office closed, the 2 shops, the 2 garages, and suddenly we had nothing.
We'd lost our soul a little, and over a glass of wine one evening in the Ring of Bells talking to Chris, we said we need to do something about it, and St Issy in Bloom was born.
A resident of St Issy for 28 years, Brenda has entered the village into Cornwall's first In Bloom competition. It's a week before the judges descend, so it's all hands on deck. There are just 600 or so residents in St Issy, and the Ring of Bells pub is now their last remaining social hub. Brenda's new venture has brought people through the doors and reignited village pride.
Lovely.
We're seeing everybody meeting in the pub, having a cup of tea, sandwich, having a look at all the portfolios put together. Yeah, couldn't be better, really. Brilliant.
Hey, it's quite good fun browsing through, though, isn't it, eh?
It reminds me when we had the school reunion.
Oh, our WR.
People began talking and helping where perhaps they hadn't made the connections before. So it's great. And the gardens have become tidier and tidier and tidier. Brooms are appearing from nowhere.
Everybody cares about their homes, cares about their gardens, but there's been that extra effort in the last week. I've seen people out, 9 o'clock at night, weeding outside their hedges and things, which has been great.
And a good job too. Before the judges arrive, the village must be spotless.
Want to show your bucket, Steph?
You crack the whip, these women.
Brenda has certainly galvanised the villagers. everybody is lending their support. But there's always time for a tea break.
I was bored and then I started doing this and now I haven't got a minute to live.
You need someone to do something like that because, let's face it, most of us can't be bothered really until someone comes up with an idea, and then we all suffer.
I'm excited one moment, then my tummy's going over and over the next.
Well, I just hope we win, because so much effort has gone into it.
I think we might have a few glasses of wine at the Ring of Bells. A must, I think, definitely.
I hope all that hard work pays off. We'll be back later on Judging Day to find out if the sun is shining down on Brenda and the villagers in their quest to become an award-winning village. Good luck, St Issy. Over the course of the summer, the fields of Trelone campsite on the cliffs of the Roseland Peninsula have been the destination of 2,000 holidaymakers exploring the Cornish coast. It's been the mission of owner Debs to ensure that they all leave rested, relaxed and with happy memories. And let's face it, with views like these, that can't be too difficult. It's meant a busy summer for Debs, so with 10 things on the go as usual this morning, I thought I'd drop in and lend a hand.
Because you haven't always run a campsite, have you?
No, I was very lucky. When I was at school, I was very good at PE in sports. That's all I went to school for, really. And I had a wonderful PE teacher called Jill, and she marched me up the Army Careers Office, took me in and said to the Army Careers guy, this girl needs to be in the Army. She'd make a brilliant PE teacher, but academically she hasn't got it.
And so you got into the Army?
So I got into the Army, did 13 years, become a PTI, which was great.
And so how come suddenly you're here in Cornwall running a campsite? How did that happen?
Well, we came on here on holiday. We had a lovely mobile home, which we used to drive around Cornwall, and we found this place by accident. And we heard it was for sale, so we went, let's do it, let's do it.
How long have you been here?
We've been here as a campsite. This is our 4th summer, but we've been here 3 years.
So you've made a big impact locally, even though you're very recent incomers, aren't you?
Yeah. When I moved here, it had a very bad reputation. It was extremely run down.
Okay.
So Peter and I had a lot of work to sort of say to the community, the campsite's a good place. You know, we're bringing people in, and so we had a lot of work to do. So obviously we met people in the pub having drinks, which is great. I also started a youth club because there's nothing for the children in the village. I used to play netball, but I've injured myself again. So that's why I've joined the Coast Guards now. So something to look forward to.
You didn't have enough to do.
No, I didn't have enough.
Fill in that extra 20 minutes you've got a week.
Yeah.
I really admire the way that Debs has thrown herself into the close-knit community in this part of Cornwall. With little welcoming touches all around the site, she's made a big impact in such a short space of time.
The Cornish have a reputation of being fairly standoffish to foreigners, don't they?
Yeah, it has been a challenge, but we've done it because we wanted to.
Yeah.
And there's something about this area and this field, really. I know it's a weird thing to say, but
I don't think it is. I don't think it is weird. I believe some places do have a really wonderful atmosphere. Do you find that here?
Yeah. I'm very at home here.
Yeah. It suits you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And I like the way of life. I like everything's done directly.
Yeah.
And it's one thing that the campers have to get from the beginning when they come.
Yeah.
Stuff here isn't done like that.
No.
Straight away. It's done at a much slower place. If it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't, then, OK, maybe tomorrow.
You're doing a great social service. You're a wonderful woman.
Oh, I don't mean to be.
I'm not just saying that because there are buns over there.
Yeah.
Although it is part of it.
Yeah, and they're for tomorrow's pay.
Oh, all right. You counted them?
Yeah.
Deb's contentment seems to rub off on everyone here. Even the dogs are happy.
She's a smiley girl. She's a smiley girl. She's a smiley girl. Give us a big smile. Give us a big smile. Smile then.
Oh, God, that's so sweet. That's absolutely marvellous. You're adorable. What a happy place.
OK, so I didn't manage to scrounge a cake, but they are for the fete, I suppose. Anyway, I'd best let Debs get on. She's got Coast Guard training later.
Cornwall has over 700 kilometres of coastline, and I found myself a real little gem here. This is Porthcurnick on the beautiful Roseland Peninsula. At one time, the community behind me, Portscatho, and here were linked by a cart track. But that was washed away by the sea long ago. So now, if you come here, you're completely marooned. Oh, well. I can think of worse places to be stranded.
Earlier in the series, I met a couple of girls who run an exclusive holiday lettings company and cater to the traveller who wants it all. Are they tricky people? Are they demanding?
They're certainly discerning, I would say, is the best word.
Good.
To maintain such high standards, it's the job of Cadine to visit prospective new properties and ensure they get the unique stamp of approval. Bit of a cushy job, I'd say, looking around some of the most beautiful properties in Cornwall.
It's one of the most enjoyable parts of the job. You get to go and meet lots of different people, see some beautiful properties and also see a lot of the country as well.
But getting your property onto their books is no mean feat. Cadine and the team have set the bar high, with over 95% of people applying being turned away. Today, Cadine is off to revisit a newly converted barn in the North Cornish countryside. She's already carried out an initial assessment with owners Simon and Sue at an earlier stage in the renovations.
So this is the main bedroom, and there's an ensuite just here.
But success rests on the all-important sleek finish. Simon and Sue have spent £100,000 on this conversion, so there's a lot at stake. But Cadine has got to be objective and scrutinise the place inside and out.
After you. They're quite fussy, I think, about who they take on, and my understanding is that they don't take on everybody. Will they, won't they like the progress that we've made? Fingers crossed, see what they say.
It's looking fantastic, but Cadine's got a few character-enhancing suggestions.
Simon, you mentioned before that you were thinking about putting a bookcase over here.
Yeah, small bookcase.
Yeah, if you would have just a selection of books along the top of the shelf.
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah,
I like that too.
That might be quite good.
Yeah.
I'm just like a really nice kind of worn leather, maybe a comfy chair.
Oh,
and, you know, get a really nice
You're spending my money again. This is the master bedroom. I mean, it's not huge, but it's got everything.
It's a good size.
Everything you want. Quality mattress.
Yeah. And what kind of linens have you gone for this bedroom?
Very fine cotton.
After a thorough tour, it's up to Cadine to deliver the news.
But, you know, based on everything that we have seen today, you certainly would like to have you on board with us.
Pass the test?
Yes.
Flying colours?
You know, I think it would really appeal. Oh, excellent. Yeah.
So we got
like
something...
to take you on board.
Good.
Yeah.
Great result, even though Sue quite fancied the place for herself.
Yeah. So we're not moving in there, is that what you're saying?
We're definitely
not moving in. No. Stay put.
Simon and Sue have invested so much time and money renovating this beautiful barn, but now there's money to be made.
In terms of the finish of the property, it's to a really high standard. It's a brilliant barn conversion. It's really high spec, so I think they'll have a great season ahead of them next year.
Let's hope this is the beginning of a successful working relationship. And Cornwall has gained another luxury let.
We think Cornwall has got a huge amount to offer people. The joy of sharing it with our customers, I think that that's just sort of icing on the cake, really.
And well done to Simon and Sue for becoming one of the lucky 5% to make the grade. Can I be first to come and stay? Charismatic campsite owner Debs Walker has had an action-packed summer.
Animal feeding time!
Among the highlights, she skippered her handmade canoe to victory in the Portscatho Regatta. Today, you'll be glad to hear she's posing no threat to shipping.
Right, what's next? What's next?
What next, indeed? Deb spent 13 years in the army, and with the campsite and village life all in working order, she's decided to take on yet another challenge.
Coast Guard training tonight, Wednesday night. I've got all my new clothes on, all the gear, no idea today. Oh, I'm looking forward to this, getting out the campsite.
I bet the residents are as well.
Yeah, you got it.
There are 3,500 Coast Guard volunteers nationwide. Here in Portscatho, Station Officer Alan Collins is welcoming Debs as their newest recruit.
There isn't anybody in the village that doesn't know of her. I mean, she's larger than life. She's on a 12-month probation. There's some competencies that she will need to learn, and after that 12 months, she will be assessed. So it's an ongoing training process.
The Coast Guard nationally covers some 1.25 million square nautical miles of sea and over 10.5 thousand nautical miles of coastline. With Cornwall's reputation as a playground for nearly 5 million tourists every summer, accidents along the cliffs are commonplace. It makes the job of the Coast Guards vital.
Obviously, I'm doing it for other people, but also for myself. It's going to be great, again, being part of a team. I miss that. Living by the coast, I think it's important for everyone to give something back.
Cliff rescues can be extremely dangerous. And with her campsite just minutes from the coastal path, this evening Debs is putting in the hours to learn some of the basics. And there's nothing like a bit of role play for the information to sink in. Concentrate, Debs.
So Richard's going to be the casualty, and the rope that you can just see in the grass is the cliff edge. So he's guiding him back now to the edge of the cliff.
All right, a little bit further, go on. There's a cliff back here.
Good job that's not a real cliff.
This comes off.
That stays on there, because that's
That's on that. On. Yeah. See ya! She's took the wrong one off. I'd have gone with you.
Oh, well, that's all right then, Debs. Next up, roles are reversed and Debs is getting into character.
I'm going to be rescued now, so I'm going over the edge, the pretend edge today. Help! Help! It's a lot to remember, it's crazy, but it's good. Getting there, you know, it sinks in. Did you hear that? He reckons it's just to come and flirt with the locals. Wow, possibly 50-50, but that's what I tell my husband anyway. Buddy-buddy systems and all that. Yeah, it's great. Because you never know, we might need it one day.
I feel that there can't be anything worse than if you're in trouble, but nobody's coming to help. It is that reward of saving somebody, possibly saving someone's life. And I think that's what drives all of us.
These guys are a real inspiration, and it's reassuring to know they're out there, as long as Debs puts in a bit more practice. A new day has dawned in North Cornwall, and the sea breeze has brought a spell of dreary weather, to the villagers of St Isy's dismay. After a busy year of pruning, weeding and brightening up the village, Judging Day for their first ever Cornwall in Bloom contest has finally arrived, and conditions have put a bit of a dampener on proceedings.
It's blowing in from the sea and it's mizzle and it's quite cold for July and yeah, it's damp, very, very damp.
Desperate not to let the Cornish weather dampen spirits, it's up to village stalwart Brenda to look on the bright side.
Well, we've decided we can't do anything about the weather, so we've got to be positive. And it's made the colours come out, hasn't it?
A bit apprehensive this morning, knowing that the judges are coming. But at the end of the day, it's brought the village together. And really, we've had a whale of a time.
Stiff upper lip, Brenda. And anyway, looks like you've got bigger problems than the rain to contend with.
It's rubbish collection day to day. And if people haven't taken their dustbins in, they'll be thrown over the fence.
There's nothing for it. Time to implement Operation Garbage. Brenda doesn't want her village to lose any marks on the score sheet, so she's leaving nothing to chance. And I mean nothing.
Out of the way for today.
What the eyes can't see.
I'm sensing a competitive streak there, Brenda.
Why take part if you're not going to win? So we're out to win.
With the judges' arrival imminent, Brenda and her fellow villagers can only take shelter and wait with nervous anticipation. Slight issue, though.
Well, we've lost the landlord at the moment. We're waiting for Chris.
Yeah?
He said, oh, I'll be there, I'll be there.
Is this Chris coming up?
That's a relief, because he knows the name of all the flowers. I thought, if they ask me what this is called, I'm lost.
It'll be a yellow one or a green one.
Phew, that was cutting it fine. Without further ado, let judging commence. First up, a tour.
It's worked really well.
Beetroot there.
Yeah.
Courgettes there.
Yeah, I've seen the size of them in there, yeah.
That's what I love about this village. Even in the pouring rain, everybody has turned out to show their support.
Don't look too close.
No, we'll try not to.
You can always find a bit of banter in St. Izzy.
Yeah.
Always. No matter where you go.
Now, we go to lots of places, and unfortunately sometimes we miss the community, but to see the school and what they've done in 12 months is just amazing, really.
Gosh, that's sounding positive. Could the villagers be in with a chance?
Oh, you are. Yeah.
With the walk around done, there's just time to dry off at the Ring of Bells and take a look at Brenda's sterling efforts to illustrate the village community spirit.
Yeah, that really is a good idea.
For St. Izzy in Bloom, we feel the word bloom means the village blooming, and that's what's happening at the moment because they're taking part and they want to take part.
So, will the St. Izzy villagers prove victorious? You'll have to wait and see. Blooming good effort, though.